Hey, so it's been a while. In this video, I'm going to talk about my perpetual failure as a Warhammer YouTuber. Now, before you get into the rest of the video, let's go ahead and talk for just a second about the title of the video, which is admittedly a tiny little bit of clickbait. I was recently told that apparently clickbait is what drives the algorithm and helps get more views to your channel. And so, since I'm just a tiny baby channel, we're going to try it for this one video and see how it works out. If it works for Squidmar with his let's work on our $4,000 Warlord Titan project, then maybe it'll work for me just as well. So I have been sort of interested on and off in becoming a quote-unquote content creator for a pretty long time, actually. I think my first interest in YouTube was when John and Hank Green first started their Vlog Brothers project, if I can say those words out loud. And that was a really long time ago. Now, with smartphones, things get a whole bunch easier. And I think there are a whole bunch of really cool people doing really awesome things on the internet. Now, I'm talking about my perpetual failure as a Warhammer YouTuber for a couple of reasons. First of all, I suffer pretty hard from imposter syndrome. You may have noticed from comments on this channel, in previous videos, or from comments on my Instagram, that I have a lot of self-doubt. I often end up feeling like I am not part of the Warhammer community or the hobby community, and that a lot of the time I feel like I'm looking in from the outside. I'm not one of the quote-unquote cool kids, as they say. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get into a couple of reasons for why I think I am a failed Warhammer YouTuber. The first example here is a couple of projects that should illustrate how slow I am on a getting things done timescale. I've owned this Rhino since probably August of last year, and it's still not done because I'm slow at these things. I've had the Land Raider since Christmas. It's a little bit further along, but it's still a slow work in progress. There are a lot of nights where I am lucky if I manage to paint for an hour and get some base coats down on maybe the las cannons on these sponsons over here, for example. Because I'm a pretty slow painter, and I'm not sure if there's any particular way to fix that. Another example is this Arachnarok spider that is sitting on my desk. I pulled it off the desk. Well, I pulled it off the bookshelf a couple of days ago in order to do some of that purple. And it's been in this base coated stage for probably about 2 years now. Give or take a little bit here and there. This was for an Age of Sigmar project. I was going to do Gloomspite Gits. Hiding back here is a Leviathan Dreadnought that has also been mostly done for a couple of years now. Another slow project in the going. So yeah, that's one of the things I think is keeping me from becoming a quote-unquote successful Warhammer YouTuber is just the super slow pace at which I finish projects. And part of that might be on me. I tend to be kind of a hobby butterfly, so a lot of the time I will start a project. I will get that project about 75% of the way done, and then the project kind of just stops and I move on to something else. That's kind of a big problem, obviously. Another big problem is that I have some great ideas, and so I do a couple of videos using those great ideas, and then I kind of like lose steam and I run out of ideas and I'm not sure what else to make as content. And so I just kind of stopped posting. I'm not one of those people who just like comes up with creative ideas on the fly, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So that's another thing. I'm also a little slow at actually finishing projects, which you might have noticed from all the unfinished miniatures I just showed you. And that's not even the half of it. Let's not even talk about this pile of opportunity that is laying around. Next step in my Warhammer hobby YouTube thing, I don't think I'm a good talking head, right? I'm also a fairly casual player. I don't get to play very often in the first place. I'm a very casual player. I am not one of those people who knows the intricacies of the rules in and out. So I'm never going to be able to do one of those like top 10 Sons of Horus tactics to absolutely devastate your opponent videos, because my brain just doesn't work like that. I tend to miss all of those important combos, which is why I was never a very good War Machine player, by the way. Keep that in mind. And so yeah, like I can read the rules, I can memorize a lot of them. I am somehow missing the competitive thing that managed just to put all of those together as little tiny puzzle pieces and end up with game-winning combinations for the most part. Next hurdle is my painting. I'm okay. I feel like I'm maybe a tiny little bit above tabletop average when it comes to painting standards. I am really happy with my Alpha Legion most of the time. I think I do weathering really well. I'm not one of those people like Ninjon or Vince Venturella who can teach and highlight the highlights and then put a highlight on top of the highlight and know color theory and all of those things. I'm not great at teaching painting. I'm not skilled enough at painting to teach painting. So there's that particular hurdle in Warhammer YouTube success, quote unquote. I'm doing a lot of quotes. In case you can't tell, this video it's partially serious, but it's also kind of a little bit trying to poke fun at myself here. And so we'll just kind of see where that whole thing goes. I'm a little bit self-deprecating sometimes, in case you haven't noticed. So yeah, so there's that. I'm not great at painting. I don't have the tools or the equipment to be a good painting teacher in the first place. Like, I'm filming this on my phone, and it's sitting on a GorillaPod that is not very good at being a GorillaPod because it doesn't like to stand up as straight as it should, and it tends to like wobble a little bit. I don't have any of the fancy gear that I assume that like Ninjon does in order to film his painting stuff. I'm bringing up Ninjon only as an example because he's the first person at the top of my brain right now. So honestly, I have no idea how a lot of these painting YouTubers actually do it. I assume that there are fancy rigs that you could slot your camera into, your actual camera, not your smartphone camera, to manage to get all those fancy shots. My desk lighting is 2 lamps. I don't know if either of them are actually daylight lamps. One is definitely not. One is an IKEA, I think it's a Traeger lamp, that currently has one of the arms taped together so that it doesn't move. It's a little old. The other one is nice. I don't know if it provides enough light to actually film painting stuff by. I could try it at some point and see. Let me know if you're interested. So yeah, there are a lot of reasons why I'm not a great Warhammer YouTuber. I'm also not one of those people who is going to make a bunch of salty videos about how Games Workshop is a greedy corporation and they're very anti-consumer and their prices are way too high and like, oh no, my luxury toys cost money that I don't want to spend on luxury toys, like certain channels that I could name. At the end of the day, Games Workshop makes a fantastic setting that I really like playing and hobbying in. I don't go to a lot of events. I don't play a lot of games in the first place, so I'm not going to be one of those battle report type of channels. I am lucky if I get in one game every 6 months. I think I've played one game of Horus Heresy 2nd edition so far, and that was last year in September. It's been a while, guys. It's been a very long time. I don't see myself getting into any games anytime soon. So you're not going to rely on me as a channel for battle reports, battle tactics, anything even vaguely remotely resembling competitive play, because that's not who I am as a person. And so, yeah, that's, I actually don't know if that's it. I don't know if I have any more points. I might get back to you in a second or a couple minutes. We'll see. Just a couple of final thoughts here to close out the video. One last thing that I wanted to mention is that I have 0 video production experience. I think it does help a little bit if you are familiar with the video shooting and editing process to get a nice final product out there for everybody to watch. A couple of people who do this really well are 52 Miniatures and Arbiter Ian. Both their channels are excellent and you should go check them out. Again, I think all of these are hurdles that can probably be overcome. And I do think that there's, I mean, it's one of those things where I think your success on YouTube is, it's equivalent to the amount of work that you choose to put into it. I think for me, a lot of that work tends to be a struggle. I've mentioned a lot of the things that I perceive are holding me back from becoming a successful Warhammer YouTuber. But I do think that if you try at it, you will see some sort of success in this whole hobby YouTube community. Obviously, being a casual part of the Warhammer hobby is a little bit different from doing it. I don't even know if I want to say professionally, because YouTube and Warhammer are two separate things that you can both become really good at. And they do happen to overlap just a little tiny bit when you become successful doing Warhammer YouTube, which up to this point, I am not. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts. Please go ahead and leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'm always happy to hear suggestions and stuff like that. And I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Until then, stay friendly and hobby a lot. I don't know how to close out videos. Bye.